And welcome back. You may be one of the many people noticing how your skin changes in the summer, and not always for the better. Joining us with some do's and don'ts for summer skin is Sandra Witten, a physician's assistant in dermatology. Now, this is the time of year when we all want that glow, the sun-kissed glow. How can you safely attain that?
There is no such thing as safe tanning. If you would like the glow, you need to do a spray-on tan or an artificial bronzer.
And those are safe to use then?
Absolutely. Those are wonderful, very safe. It can also titrate the color to the exact bronze that you'd like.
Yeah, they've got a lot better, I think, in recent years than what they used to be.
There's no more orange
Not
glow.
Standard orange. Now, one of the things I was going to ask you about, Sandra, a couple of weeks ago, we heard reports about vitamin D and the sun being good for you and actually having a role in prevention of cancer. How did that sit with dermatologists?
Well, not very well. You get enough sunlight to create good vitamin D in your daily exposure. You don't have to go out and sunbathe 50 minutes a day, even 20 minutes a day, to get enough vitamin D.
When does sun damage begin then? Now, we all hear about childhood sunburns. How does that really affect one's skin in adulthood?
Sunburns, sun exposure is cumulative. Every sunburn you get can increase your risk for skin cancer. Your skin keeps score. Don't forget that.
And actually, as we age, too, it's one of those things that sort of comes back to haunt you.
Yes.
Women are always worried about how their skin looks, and that really has an impact, doesn't it?
That is the primary culprit in photo damage and photo aging is the sun.
Now, what about the summer and skin in terms of how your skin care should change? I mean, should you change the products you use, the moisturizers, cleansers, that type of thing?
Well, your skin becomes more oily in the summertime. And there's some do's and don'ts for summertime skin care. I think the worst mistake that people make is over-cleansing their skin or using harsh astringents. This strips the skin of oil. Your skin then in turn produces more oil, and it becomes a vicious cycle.
Now, there are other alternatives then. I mean, because you do feel warm, especially if you're wearing makeup. I've seen little blotter tissues. Do those help? How should you use those?
Those work very well. And you also want to use maybe a water-based makeup instead of an oil-based makeup. Go a little bit lighter in the summertime.
Now, what about freckles? Is that a sign of sun damage? And what can you do once you start noticing freckling?
Freckles are a sign of sun damage. If you look at your skin, you don't have any freckles on non-sun exposed areas. So that is an indication that you have had some sun damage. You need to be careful.
Take that as a cue to do what then?
Yes, prevention.
More prevention. What about the level of protection with sunscreens? You see everything from 15 to 40 and up. I mean, what's a reasonable amount of protection? What do I need to look for?
You really want an SPF of 30 or higher. And the best ingredient you want to find in your sunscreen is zinc oxide. That is the most effective ingredient we have on the market today.
What about medication? If you're out in the sun, are there some medications that might make you more sensitive to sunburn?
Yes, they're called photosensitizing medications, or they'll make you more sensitive to the sun. These include antibiotics, especially the cyclins, tetracycline, minocycline, doxycycline, diuretics, blood pressure medications, and some antidepressants. The best thing to do is check with your physician.
Now, what about, you're going to be out in the sun, there's so many things to do, especially with kids. How can you enjoy it safely?
You need to avoid the sun, between about 10 and 3. That is the strongest rays of the sun. Again, use your SPF 30 or higher. Reapply every 2 hours, or especially after swimming or sweating. You want to use about a shot glass size for the body, a teaspoon size for the face. You also want to wear protective clothing, and also avoid reflective surfaces such as water and snow.
You don't always think about that, especially in the snow.
Skiing, yes.
Right. A good chance to get a sunburn there. Sandra, thank you so much. Great tip.